Chapter 13. Problems at Home. I'm not sure how I walked back to our flat. I was terribly worried. Andrea came home with Cotty at 8 o'clock and put her to bed. I wanted to tell Andrea what had happened. But I didn't know what to say, because she had been so angry about it that afternoon. I also wanted to talk about what I had been told. I was both very interested and afraid at the same time. "Andrea," I started, "I've found out what happened." She didn't answer. She was looking at a newspaper. "Andrea," I tried again, "would you like me to tell you what I've found out?" She looked at me coldly. "Look, John," she said, "you know that I've really had enough of this story of yours, but I expect I'll have to hear the next part. Go on." She looked very tired and worried. I told her what Mrs. Fisher had said, quickly and quietly. She looked at me as I talked. When I had finished, she said, "And so what?" "Well, don't you understand? It's him I see every 18th of January, I replied. "Who?" asked Andrea. "János Szabó, of course," I said. "Oh, John," she said, "how can you see a dead man? I really think you must be ill." "What do you mean?" I asked. "I mean that you're probably very tired, from work and because of the baby," she went on, "and that you need some help from a doctor." "But Andrea," I shouted, "you came with me on the 18th of January and saw what happened." "John, remember that all I saw was you falling over and shouting," she said. I sat looking at her without saying anything. My wife didn't believe me. She thought that I was ill. And yet I knew it was all true. This man, János Szabó, my doppelganger, was there for a reason. He was there to tell me something, to help me in some way. Over the next few weeks, I often tried to talk about it with Andrea, but she never wanted to listen to me. Sadly, my doppelganger seemed to be building a wall between us. Talking to each other became much more difficult than it had been before. We often spent evenings without talking much, or my wife went to bed early, saying she was tired after a day looking after Cotty, and I stayed up watching old films on the TV until the early hours of the morning. I thought about it carefully, again and again. Some things were true facts. A man called János Szabó had lived at number 7 Felka utca. On the 18th of January 1945, his wife and daughter had been killed in the cellar that was now Zsolc bar in Gergely utca. Other things were difficult to understand. I had been outside the Felka utca building twice on the anniversary of that date, the 18th of January, and I had met the man, and he looked the same as me. What did it all mean?